How you doing? Flatterdays.
What up? When I'm with you on the weekends, I can't feel my face. Get it? So how's everybody doing tonight on this fine Sunday evening or
Tonight?
Monday morning?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you've got different time zones.
Right? That's because we live on a ball. Couldn't have different time zones on a flat Earth.
Was waiting for you to hear
Couldn't
that.
have different time zones on a flat Earth. In fact, we couldn't even celebrate our birthdays on a flat Earth. It just wouldn't work. You can only celebrate your birthday on a globe.
Nah, we wouldn't exist if we lived on a spinning ball orbiting the sun.
Your senses lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know everything looks like the Earth is flat and stationary. You can treat it like that, but that's just an illusion.
Yeah, it's just on a bigger scale. It's curved. We're so small. We're like ants on a kind of like ants on a basketball. You probably never heard that before, but yeah, we're like tiny ants on a ball. A giant basketball.
Yeah, and if the Earth was flat, it'd be sunny all the time.
Yeah, if the Earth was flat, we'd all fall off.
Yep.
Yeah. And when Jesus said he's coming back, and every person on Earth will see him, he's coming back from every direction, bro. Every direction, like a koosh ball.
That's that. We just have technology. Everyone's somehow going to be able to have TVs and stuff and see. They got the same.
Or maybe he'll come with a bunch of angels holding mirrors. It'll be like a House of Mirrors type thing.
Yeah. That's how the serpent got Eve to do what she did in the garden. He knew if he went up to her himself, it would freak her out. None of the animals wanted to do it, so he tricked a parrot into doing it. He put a mirror in front of a parrot and acted like he was the other parrot talking to the parrot and got her to do it.
Whoa. That's
allegedly.
Oh, you lost me on that one.
Says who?
Allegedly.
Like, who's ever said that?
Huh?
Has anyone ever said that?
Yeah, no.
I thought you were making a joke about like Zazu, like Lion King. Like she's not a parrot.
No, I wasn't making a
Zazu.
joke.
No, the other guy.
It's not a joke, right?
Well, I've actually heard that. I've heard that version before about how the serpent tricked the parrot into doing it by putting up a mirror in front of the parrot and acting like it was another parrot.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Never heard of that.
The last few minutes, I couldn't really make, sarcasm or what out of it, but just joking.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I joke a lot around a lot.
You can
for
definitely
entertainment purposes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes and educational too, if you want. So, about the skull and bones, I've been doing the research on that 322. Come to the conclusion that the 3 is a C and the 22 is a V, which you can turn the shape or symbol any way you want. The C in V turns into a dome and a pyramid. Period. I was thinking about my chick. A dome and a pyramid, and the dome and the pyramid symbol is also the alpha and the omega symbol. The beginning and the end. So you guys have seen that Roman coin that says EID and then there's a space and it says MAR on it for Ides of March?
I don't think I have, but yeah, go ahead.
It's a pretty it's a pretty famous coin from a long time ago. But the Ides of March supposedly is when when Caesar got his Achilles heel slashed by Brutus, and it was on the Ides of March,
Right.
which is March 15th, right? So, which is the day after Pi Day. Anyways, I think March 15th is the beginning of the last week of the year, and the first day of the year is 322, and because that's the beginning of Aries, right? So EIDMAR backwards is Ram Die, right? So Ram Die is the beginning of Aries, which is 322, and so I think that when they created the month February with the notorious leap years that still are off a little bit in the math, they created the month February, and it's to put it in our face. Just like how when you look at your gas gauge in your car and it says FE on it, and then when you run out of this gas that they say comes from dinosaurs, but it's free, when you run out of this gas, the gas light turns on, so they're gaslighting you. And what better way to do it than putting an FE right in front of you as you're driving over a flat stationary surface, Anyway,
Bro, have you been
my
reading
opinion.
numerology books? What's going on with you, bro?
Hey,
Well, no,
hey,
you were
real
on.
quick, Flatterday Saints, I got one question for you. Indica or
What up? What
sativa?
up? Huh?
Indica or sativa?
Sativa all day.
Okay,
Yeah,
just making
sativa.
sure.
Yeah, it's got to be sativa.
Hi.
Indica puts you in the couch, bro. You can't get up. You're stuck.
No, the indica puts you on the couch. Sativa wakes you up.
Yeah, he
Right, that's
sleeps
what
at.
I'm saying. Sativa. All day.
Yeah, I gotta have the sativa. Oh yeah. You're agreeing with me. Yeah. Gotta have the sativa.
Interesting
Okay,
that
so it's my
Caesar got his Achilles heel
so
cut.
it's my opinion that February stands for Flat Earth Brutus Aries. It's just an encoded word that they use to
What?
put it in our face. Yeah, because March 15th is I
Thought
believe
it,
is the last week of the year before 322 starts. 322, the symbol, the C and the V, because it's the third letter of the alphabet and the 22nd letter, which is the V, could also be a dome and a pyramid, or the alpha and the omega symbol. When you count down New Year's Eve, you go 9876543, like March 21, 21st, / Happy New Year. It's 322, the first day of the year.
He's
That makes
nice.
sense.
brother. These are numbers. They're not a conspiracy. Oh my god.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just my opinion.
That's
These
a
aren't
F5.
facts.
It's exactly
These
what
are just opinions.
a plant would say. You're just
Huh?
here to
Dude,
gaslight.
Am I what?
dude, I cannot count the amount of brain cells I just lost listening to that. What?
Let's go huff paint, man. It's a good time.
A what?
Never
Go
heard
huff
of
some paint.
Julius Augustus Caesar.
You
Uh,
never
it's
heard of Caesar?
yeah, it's a little tough.
You mean like the salad?
Like what?
That's
Like the
from
It's
Mexico.
salad?
crazy. Y'all are having trouble with, Flatterday Saints and what he's saying, but the scientists will tell you that, crazy stuff like we sprang up out of the rocks and everything's just fine. It's a holographic universe and it's
No
really
one
a
has ever said we
simulation.
sprang up out of rocks. I don't know where that's
So,
coming from.
Well, they
so
say
you don't know about
we're
abiogenesis?
stardust.
You never heard of
I mean,
abiogenesis?
Go from no
everything
light
is
to light.
stardust compared to the rest of the universe.
I'm asking you a question directly, bro. Have you ever heard of abiogenesis?
To be fair, compared to the scale of the universe, the Earth is basically a grain of sand.
Can he not hear me?
No, I can
Have
hear
you
you.
heard?
Okay, have you ever
Yeah,
heard of abiogenesis?
Yeah, I've heard of abiogenesis.
Can you explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old?
Christianity is basically what abiogenesis boils down to.
Really?
Yeah,
So what part of Christianity has like life springing up out of rocks for no reason?
the part where God snaps his fingers and makes Adam and then makes Eve out of his rib.
So I see that you're butthurt. If you could just put down the ego for a little bit and like have an honest conversation.
Okay,
I'd appreciate
now
it.
you're saying I'm not being honest because you know I'm right and you want to be a massive dick about it.
No, I'm
So it
asking
comes
you
from
about
stars.
Genesis, and then you started bringing up the New Testament for some reason, or the Old Testament.
You're calling me butthurt because you know I'm right.
That was nice.
So abiogenesis is the Bible.
This is what I mean. If you want to have a good debate, don't start your sentence saying you can't have a good discussion by insulting me. Because that's a great way to make me go from 0 to 100 really fast.
Well, I can't
Did
help
you
it that you
insult
can't control
something
your
about
emotions.
Well, you won't
losing
like
brain
that,
cells?
right?
Go for it.
Yeah, I said I'm losing brain cells because thinking numbers is a conspiracy is kind of, you know.
Yeah. I'll post something, it's a movie poster,
You
but
you can't lose something that you've never seen, taste, touched, felt, or heard. You know what I mean? It's just a theory, a brain cell. You know, it's not anything you can prove one way or the other.
So you can't tell
You
me
can't
about
lose something.
abiogenesis. I got it.
Brother, did you just tell me I can't prove that brain cells exist?
Yeah,
What?
it's just a thought. Yeah, it's just theoretical, bro. You can't taste it, touch it, feel it, see it, or hear it.
Hold on. No, I need that needs to marinate in my head for a sec.
Don't lose any brain cells.
The
Don't lose
thing
any
that
brain
makes
cells.
my brain function, I can't prove exists.
Sure,
I'm
bro.
proving
Sure.
they exist by speaking right now.
Oh, I dropped a microphone. That's gravity. I just proved gravity by dropping a microphone. Like, it doesn't prove it by you speaking that brain cells exist.
Okay.
Just by the
Yes,
same,
it
I could say
does, because it takes
cherry pie
brain
exists.
power to form
You're
words.
talking. I could just use the
And
word cherry pie or
everything in
something
your
like that.
body is made of cells, including your
How do you-
brain.
How do you know that, though? How do you know?
This is biology 101.
Is the same biology teach that the world's an oblate spheroid?
That would be geography.
Okay,
If
but
you-
do they apply to that theory though? Something in their teachings is paramount to the Earth being a globe, or so they say.
Does Caesar exist?
well,
Can you prove
if
that
it's
Caesar
101,
see him?
we know it.
Taste him? Touch him? Like, can you prove that
It's
Caesar
not probably
existed?
real, but
You cannot
what the
empirically
whole
prove that
purpose think
Caesar
of.
existed, but you can prove it logically by the information that we have, unless you just reject all of history altogether.
Okay, so why can't we make inferences based off of the data that we have biologically moving through that with other things like brain cells?
Because it's still 101. I don't know. Still kind
I'm
of
not
stuck.
disagreeing with the brain cells thing.
Yeah,
Okay, just
I
making
agree.
sure Flatterday Science is, jumping from inferences to show the definition of the word February, and then the instant that it's another topic that we're not allowed to make inferences anymore. Just pointing that out for the group.
I never said nobody's allowed to do or not do anything. I don't care. You're a grown man. You do whatever you
No,
want.
you said you can't, if you can't see it, taste it, touch it, then it's not something that you can prove. That's what you said. I'm just,
I'm just
not
saying
trying
you're
to debate you, not trying to debate you, just pointing that
okay.
out.
So the irony of bringing gravity into that situation when you are currently feeling gravity is kind
How do you
of...
know I'm feeling gravity though?
Are you sticking to the Earth?
He's made that point, dude. Yeah, it's gonna basic answer. Okay, is gravity different underwater?
Yes.
No. Okay,
What about
Well, it
when
feels
is
different.
gravity is gravity affected by temperature?
No,
No.
Okay, then why when water heats up does it defy gravity?
because it becomes a gas. It becomes buoyant.
And so gravity goes out the window at that point.
No,
That's
the
specific
equation.
gravity.
No, the equation for
Hold on.
buoyancy has gravity in it. Buoyancy requires
Well, you can
gravity.
describe it mathematically however you like, but we're talking about scientifically. It's the temperature,
Dude,
the low
it's a
temperature. Hold on, I'm in
scientific
the middle of
equation
speaking. I'm in
for
the middle
the
of speaking.
phenomenon
I'm
that
in the
is
middle
buoyancy.
of speaking. I'm in the middle of
The
speaking.
equation for
So,
buoyancy is a
I'm in the
scientific
middle
one,
of
not a
speaking, bro.
mathematical one.
Can you govern yourself, please?
Do you not know
It's
what
the
an
bro,
equation in
can I
science
finish
is?
speaking? Hello?
There's a difference
You
between a
think there's
mathematical
equations in
equation and a
science?
scientific equation.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
You mean what's the difference? In science, the letters and numbers mean something. Like, take kinetic energy, right?
No, what's the difference?
You mean what's the difference?
Yeah, you said there's a difference between science math and math. What's the difference?
There's a difference between a scientific formula, like a formula that describes something that you can test, and a mathematical equation, like, say, the equation for the area of a triangle.
Let's not get it lost into semantics.
So is math science? Are they the same thing?
Science
Or let's
and
do it.
math go together, but they're not the same thing.
He's kind of rhetorically. Good answer,
No,
I
I-
guess.
Did I hear the claim
He's
that
losing
boiling
brain
water
cells.
defies gravity? Did I hear the claim that boiling
Yeah,
water defies
he's
gravity?
saying that water. I can pull up the equation for buoyancy if you want me to. Hold
No,
on.
but
No,
I was
no
trying
need.
to get to air is very different than water, but what 100 times less surface tension, is what I'm trying to get at. But
Air
Yeah,
has
so
100
then
times
water
less
defies
surface
gravity.
tension than water, because water is
has-
more dense than air.
Y'all,
But
y'all,
How does
air has
it
surface
when it
tension?
gets heated up? How does it go up
Air,
then?
and also air does not have surface tension.
real quick, y'all are forgetting the sigma in the beginning of Newton's second law. It's some of the forces cause mass to accelerate. When you move underwater, you're introducing a buoyant force into the mix. So sigma F
That's
is equal
cool.
to M, not just F is equal to M.
maybe air is
F-
unmeasurable.
You're invoking
FB
him?
equals PVG. Guess
That
what
doesn't
the
mean
G
anything to
stands
you.
for? Yeah, it does.
The G stands for the same
FB
thing that's in the Masonic apron. That G?
FB is the buoyant force
Wow.
acting on the object. P is the density of the fluid said object is in, or air,
Great, you
or
memorized something.
water. V is the volume of the liquid displaced, if
Nice.
air.
And
And
that proves gravity,
G
right?
is the acceleration due to gravity.
Due
You
to
can't have
gravity.
buoyancy without acceleration due to gravity.
Can you have gravity without buoyancy, though?
Yes.
So buoyancy is a bit
Okay,
greater force than
demonstrate it.
gravity.
Demonstrate something going up and down without manipulating buoyancy or density, because I can make things go up or down by only manipulating buoyancy and density, also known as relative density.
Yes, that's how things going up and down work.
Throw a ball up.
Right,
You're-
not gravity, but specific
You're
gravity.
manipulating.
You can also
are
make things go
manipulating how
magnets,
buoyant
too.
force, like how much buoyant force an object has. Therefore, it's going to go up or down more. You're
Right.
not
Can
affecting
you do that with only
the
manipulating
density
gravitation?
as much.
Can you do
It's
that?
the buoyant force.
Yeah, you can
I mean,
create buoyancy in any
Can you do that?
direction.
Hold on. Can you do that by manipulating only
Okay,
your
I
presumed
have
cause
a
for
question.
gravity?
If you take
You're just
a
gonna skim
hammer,
past my question.
if you take a hammer and feather,
You gotta run.
right, into a vacuum chamber where
Right.
there's no air, so there's no
Right.
buoyancy or density. Density doesn't matter, right? A hammer is more dense than a feather, and you drop them, and they hit the ground at the same time.
How do you know?
Feather
Have
is
you ever been in a
densest
vacuum
objects
chamber
in
that
the
big to
medium.
do that?
You're not proving
There-
gravity, Grumman.
there
that
isn't-
won't prove gravity.
Been in a
Okay,
vacuum
but
chamber
what
to prove
causes
that?
them to fall at the same rate?
Because they're
Have
the
you been in a vacuum chamber to
densest
prove that?
thing.
A feather is less dense than a hammer.
In a vacuum chamber that you've never been in. Great.
But
Cool story.
it's the relative density between the medium that the feather is in and the feather itself.
What is the
That's
relative
what makes it
density?
fall.
The
There
water.
We're
is
talking
no
about
relative
What is the
Opposite
relative
to
density?
gravity.
Dude, there is no relative density because there is no medium. The air is gone. It is a
Hey,
vacuum
you believe in like
chamber.
pure
You've never tried
vacuums?
that for
You
yourself,
believe in
though.
like perfect vacuums? Hold on, this guy believes in perfect
I don't
vacuums.
need to try
He
it for
said there's no
myself.
medium.
That's the
You
thing.
just believe it.
You're just being
Well, hang on, hang
Do you
on.
believe in perfect
Yeah,
vacuums?
Grumman, there is no such thing as a perfect vacuum, man. You can't lean on that.
But yeah, we know a lot of what you're saying is kind of why
It's-
we're asking
I
these
mean,
questions.
the obvious thing is something you can do right now. You just take a heavy ballpoint pen and you take a pencil. One sinks in water, the other floats. You drop it, and you'll see they both hit the ground at the same exact time because they have similar aerodynamic profiles, despite the
Air
fact
in
that
the
they're
air.
drastically different in their density.
All right. Well, the point
Yeah,
is
a
okay. Let's
hammer and here's the thing: a
sorry.
hammer and feather are vastly different in aerodynamics.
Drop
In
the
black and
bowling ball
silver.
in the water and let the water envelop the bowling ball, just like the Earth's ocean envelops the Earth as it falls around the sun. Okay, show me that shit, man.
This is just.
Hey, I was
Yeah,
I
gonna
mean,
say.
here's the
yeah.
problem you have, Larry. You can create buoyancy in any direction by applying an acceleration. That's exactly how a centrifuge works. You know that.
Well, let's talk about lift. So flying a plane underwater is very different than in the air. So there's nothing in the air that flies the plane. It's kind of what
That's
you
not
might.
at all what I said.
Well,
What about
right,
if you
but that,
what about flying a plane into a building?
so there's no buoyancy in air.
Yo,
No,
Grumman,
there is buoyancy in there.
Grumman.
That's how steam works. You take
Grumman.
the air away, you take away that factor.
Yeah, hot air balloons, man.
I think buoyancy is
Grumman,
surface
we
tension. No
one can
surface tension in
easily
air.
pull out an equation that describes the acceleration of something relative to the density of the medium and the density of the object. Like you can do that yourself, even from Newtonian mechanics. So you're not gonna prove gravity with that example. Like there's a disconnect here. On
Bacon, that demonstration proves that there is a force that is dragging both objects down at the same rate, and it's not buoyancy or density, because both of those
How do you
factors have
do?
been
How do
shoved out the window.
Yeah. right.
how do
Density
you prove
obviously
it
isn't
without
a force doing
manipulating
that.
the force? Sorry, Bacon. How do you prove it without manipulating that force?
I was responding to
I mean,
him.
you
He was
can
talking to me.
create it. You can create an acceleration in any direction and create a buoyant force, right? How do you
If
think a
you
Go ahead,
create
centrifuge
Bacon.
works when they
acceleration,
spin
no, hold on.
blood
If you create an
and
Yes, I
then they?
can.
acceleration in one direction, that's called G-force. The G stands for gravity. It's
Right, but
gravitational force.
centrifuge can create that. Centrifuge can create
Wait,
that.
this
It's not
guy
gravity
thinks
either.
a centrifuge proves
That
gravity
is,
because
it
it says
creates
G on it?
G-force.
Yeah, but that's not gravity.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is. The
Wow.
G in G-force literally stands for gravity.
This
No,
guy.
no. It's hang on. When you say, like, for example, if you're in a plane and you make a loop and you're under like 9 Gs, that's 9 times worth the force of gravity. That's not gravity itself. That's just a comparison between the force of gravity we experience versus the centrifugal force we're experiencing with the loop of the plane. That is
Well,
not
yeah,
gravity.
that's what I mean. I mean, it
Grumman,
Yeah,
is.
so that's not
It's,
gravity.
That's not what
it's
you meant.
caused.
you gotta hit the
It's
books, man. I'm
caused by
sorry.
gravity,
No, it's
but
not.
No, it's not.
A centrifuge,
It's not.
the G force on the centrifuge is not caused by gravity. It's caused by the rotation of the centrifuge. Same for
How
the
could
loop of
gravity
the airplane.
cause 9
no,
times its value?
G's are
That's
just
not.
a unit.
dude.
Yeah,
What I'm
exactly.
saying is, what you are feeling is caused by the force of gravity.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
not true either, man.
we
Grumman,
can
I
claim
apologize.
that, like,
I agree with you on a lot of stuff, but you're stepping in a lot of holes along the way here. I don't. Yeah. Would
if we want to
I
prove
don't.
Okay,
gravity,
how do I word this? You are
Don't need to
feeling.
keep doing that.
You're feeling the force of gravity, but it's 9 times what you're used to.
that's wrong. That's wrong.
No,
You're
it's
That is
feeling an
not
acceleration. It'd be more accurate to say you're feeling an acceleration equivalent
That,
to, say, 9 times
dude,
the force of the
that's
acceleration
what
on
G-force
the
there you
surface
means.
go.
of the Earth.
There you go. That's
no.
correct, Jake.
Bottom
Yeah.
line
So
is this, though. You do the loop in the airplane, you can pour your water, even though you're inverted. And if you pour in oil and water, it'll separate and you'll get a buoyant force inverted just as you would on the surface of the Earth, except that it'll be upside down to how it would normally be because you're creating a more powerful acceleration than in the opposite direction.
Not
Are we
rest.
talking
Hey, Grumman.
inverted, like
If you
staying
did,
upside down?
if you did like a 3G loop, and as you're inverted through your loop, you poured in water and oil into a cup, you would get a density separation there that would be in the opposite direction that you would on the surface of the Earth, because the acceleration in the loop is greater than the acceleration due to gravity.
I mean,
Yes.
at the
Oh, that's
point
a
in
great
which it's
experiment. That's fucking sick.
And that would immediately debunk this whole nonsense that, oh, it's just this natural property of buoyancy and density. No, because you can create it in any direction just by applying an acceleration.
That
Yeah.
doesn't refute that. You're just creating a stronger one in the opposite
Absolutely
direction.
refutes it. It shows you that the prime thing that's driving this
But
buoyancy
Bacon,
and
you
density
just said
is
it. Bacon,
acceleration.
a stronger one. That's
Yeah,
the
that-
one. You had to invoke the one.
If you,
that would
if you
only
exceed acceleration in the opposite direction of gravity, you can reverse the buoyancy. You can the density tower.
Yeah, but that would imply if you're sitting on the surface of the Earth, then you're accelerating upwards for the first gradient to.
Yes, that's right. Well, yes. Welcome to Einstein.
See, I think
It's
gravity is like.
indistinguishable. Gravity
Yeah, I
makes
know.
it indistinguishable from being on a surface that's accelerating upward.
Yeah, but like you can explain the same thing in terms of Newtonian. So you can't prove that because it would happen the same thing would happen under Newtonian mechanics. So it cannot be a proof of Einstein relativity if it matches Newtonian mechanics, which is
That's not what
contradictory to.
That's not what he's asserting.
Oh,
Well, what do you mean? It's not his asserting. What's
he's
not
just
his
trying to
asserting?
be like, we got to have some sort of natural, some sort of effect on the material, right? Not just like, oh, it's got to order at this rate wherever it is, because when you create the one, when he's saying it's inverted, you're spinning your little thing, and you're gonna throw the oil floats on the water, right? But when you throw your shit, the water gonna be pointed toward the top, I think is what he's saying.
I'm
And
completely
then
lost.
so something's got to be
Your
pointed.
mic's kind of cutting out. Let me jump in real quick though, Don. It doesn't match Newton's. Newton said there would be a force. If you have mass accelerating, there would be a force. When you drop something, there's no measured force there. It doesn't match Newton's.
No,
What do you
there has to be a force in the
When
realm.
you
There
hold
has
on,
to
no,
be
no, no, no,
a
no,
background force.
hey, no, we're gonna go back to that. There's no measured force when you drop something.
Yeah.
Try dropping something onto a kitchen scale and see if it measures the force pushing down on it.
That's
That
you're
spikes past the
Hell.
weight
That's
of
all
the
he's saying.
object that you dropped.
I misplaced
No,
here.
while
That's
it's
all he's saying.
falling, there's no, you can't measure a force there.
That's
I
what
mean,
it
if
sounded like.
while it's falling, that you can't measure a force there.
Yeah, but
Newton
on
says there
Newtonian
should be a
mechanics.
force
Your
there because
eyes.
it's
What does
accelerating.
measure mean? What does measure
Hang
mean,
on.
Jeremy?
Let Jeremy finish. I want to respond to Jeremy.
Well, I got it. What's it mean? What do you mean measure?
A number.
Like with an accelerometer, let's say. Yeah, under Newtonian mechanics, accelerometers, that's a flaw in accelerometers. So it's not
Like
that there
it's
is
either
not enough.
Newton. It's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were done. Maybe I got my volume low. Go ahead.
No, you just have
Go
a
ahead,
big
Jeremy.
delay.
Yeah, it's either Newton's where when you have mass accelerating, there's a force, or it's GR when you have mass accelerating, there is no force. It can't be both of them. You can't force not a force. It's the law of
That was my point.
non-contradiction violation.
That was my point.
Okay, but
Your
there
point
is
is Newton and Einstein are completely incompatible because it's the law of non-contradiction violation. Oh, all right, we agree then.
Yeah.
Okay,
So which one is it
Jake
then?
said, I
okay,
don't know, but when Jake said,
but
hang
the
on,
thing
listen.
is that
Hang
we
on, hang
do
on.
measure a
hang on.
force when
Bro,
there
hang on.
is acceleration.
No. The reason why I brought that is Jake said that would the show that proves that the ground will accelerating upwards when the exact same example also happens in Newtonian mechanics. So we can't prove that. If the same thing is both predicted under general relativity and under Newtonian mechanics, then it can't prove either because those are incompatible.
Right, that's a false cause fallacy. I agree with Bacon. You don't know what the cause is.
Yeah, but you can know. But when you drop something, if there's no force there, then we know it can't be F equals ma. That's got to be wrong. And Einstein's right. If there is a force there, then Einstein's right, or Newton's right, and Einstein's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. But determining
So
whether there's a force there.
You agree GR is incompatible with F equals ma.
Yeah, when something is falling, there is no force according to GR.
But percent,
right,
they don't think
perfect.
there's an absolute reference frame, so it's both.
You can only have GR
Get away
or
with
F
all of
equals ma. One or the other. You can't have both of them.
I know.
I feel you. Tell these guys they've been arguing me for years that you can have them both.
I mean,
Cake boys, cake
They just
boys,
think that
what you gonna do?
because gravity under Einstein is a pseudo force, they think pseudo just means fake, that it's not a real quantitative measurable force,
That's
when
not
it
Jordan's argument.
absolutely is.
That wasn't Jordan's
Mhm.
argument.
It's not a force.
Isn't
I
that
don't
your
think you
consensus?
understand. Hold
You know,
on. There's a
Jake and
It's a
Bacon
grammatical
are
pseudo
disagreeing.
force.
qualifier. Hold on.
Gravity is in fact
Hold
a
on.
force.
Hold on.
Now
Time
we're
out.
contradicting
A
FDR.
grammatical. Can I be heard? Can I get a mic check?
You got
Yeah, go ahead.
bite.
Go
Am I
ahead.
coming in late?
Got
Go
Okay,
bite.
ahead. Go
so
ahead.
when you have a
You can be heard.
grammatical qualifier, it changes the meaning, right? Context is key here. So if I say man, we know what that is. But if I say a good man, I've completely changed the definition of man, haven't I? So if we say force, we all know what a force is. But if we say pseudo force, now that's something else, right?
Yeah, what is it, Larry? Why don't you tell us what the difference is? You seem like you're an expert on this. What's the difference between
Yeah,
a real force and a pseudo force?
a pseudo force is not a force. You can think of it as a force, apparently, according to the experts, but it's not an actual force, not like buoyancy. Buoyancy is actually a force, right? Or electromagnetism, or strong and weak nuclear. Those are actual forces. But if you think that there's a reconciliation and that there's four fundamental forces, and you think
Larry,
Newton is right, then
Larry,
hold on, I'm in the middle of speaking. Shut the fuck up.
buoyancy requires gravity.
Could you
So
shut
if
the
buoyancy is a
fuck
force,
No,
up?
go ahead. Go
terminate.
ahead.
Why are you speaking, you asshole? God. I mean, act like your
Go,
father fucking raised you,
Kinda
dick.
doesn't.
One
Okay,
version.
yeah,
so
go
Keep
ahead.
going.
Go ahead.
as I was trying, is it your turn to interrupt now? I mean, come
Right,
on.
Kevin?
So, if you think that gravity is one of the four fundamental forces, you're a fundamentalist. Thanks.
Damn, you cut your punchline.
So can a pseudo force act on an object in a measurable quantitative way?
I'm not making any
Was the
claims
question
about
directed?
pseudo
No,
forces, so I don't know.
no,
Well, you sound like you're an expert on it, Larry. So tell us about pseudo forces. Can they act on an object and affect it in a real, measurable, quantifiable way?
no, no.
I'm not an expert on pseudo forces. That would be you guys
Well,
that
then why
believe
are you
Einstein.
chiming in here like you know all about the science behind real
Because I
forces
know what a
versus pseudo
grammatical
forces?
qualifier is. That's why I chimed in, because I know what a grammatical qualifier is.
Wait,
Right, but it's the
wait.
same thing as as theory. A scientific theory is very different than I have a theory about who killed JFK. You know, those are two very different uses of the word
Wait,
theory, right?
Jake,
Fundamental.
are you?
Yeah, and this
Hold
kind of
on,
blue sometimes. What else?
hold on,
Go ahead, Brett.
Jake, are you a flat earther or not? I can't tell right now.
He's not. He's a global.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm one
we're
of
disagreeing with you because
I'm
you
one
have
of the
a
original flat
misunderstanding of
earthers
physics.
in here, and it pisses me off when they call me a glober because I've been a flat earther longer than almost everyone in this room. Maybe not for Larry. He's one of the OGs too. That goes back to Stency's Hangouts on Google Hangouts, but.
Wait, you're a flat earther?
On
Yeah, his
the
name's
real.
Jake on a plane or on the plane.
Oh, but could it be an airplane? I don't know.
A judge.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Grumman, you have many misconceptions of physics. Um, like I agree, the Earth is spherical, and I agree gravity exists, but I disagree with almost half of what you say. You gotta get your shit right. You're getting it wrong very often.
I mean, one of my main things that I know about is rocketry, which is probably obvious considering I'm watching a rocket live stream from 5 years ago.
What do
Okay.
what do you think of the Go Fast video that's got subtitles about stopping, but looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, do you remember how I debunked that? How I went in here with Moyak and I debunked that? Because you can obviously see that when the yo-yo D-spin activates, the rocket is still far from apogee, and when it actually hits apogee, you can see that everything in the background is half the size it was during the yo-yo D-spin, so it didn't hit anything. And even the
Yeah.
guy that was making the claim in here was like, you know what, you're right, I never noticed that.
Well, yeah, I haven't looked at
I'm-
the twice the size thing, but and yo-yo, I mean not D-spin. You're saying like A lot of force there. A
Yeah,
lot of swing.
what is yo-yo D-spin again? Is it like a rocket motor or is it like a I don't know.
Counterweight.
No,
What they
it's
do
just
is they
counterweights are
match
projected.
they match the spin. They match the spin counter to the spin. And if they do it just right, allegedly, you can make it
Lock it
stop.
up.
I've seen a demonstration.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it stop spinning. I've seen a demonstration of it, but does that mean that's what exactly happened with that rocket? Like, no, but they showed that it is possible to counterspin at the matching momentum. I guess not necessarily spin rate, but matching momentum of the rocket, and you can make it stop spinning.
No, that's good. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff anyway with that video, but
There's a lot of interesting stuff about rocketry as a whole.
They're all
there's a
positive about it, though, guys. They're all
lot of
The
new
positive.
stuff.
yo-yo, the yo-yo D-spin's pretty simple. It's just a piece of weight on a string, on like a fishing line, essentially.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I can understand how that mechanism, but I mean,
Oh yeah, no,
The
I saw
same
you can
reason how a figure skater stops spinning when she puts her arms out. It's the same exact thing.
I think you can see it deploy in the video.
well, you see some crystals and stuff on there. But anyway,
I
that
don't
was a
think
good
it's the
video.
same as the ballerina or whatever spinning. I think, like, imagine that you have
Yeah,
a
it's just
clutch, right? And
conservation
these
of
two
angular
things.
momentum. You can do it in your office chair with 2 dumbbells in each hand.
Yeah, I've done it. Done it. I'm a figure skater. Now go ahead, Larry. You were
I'm explaining. Imagine you have a clutch, right? And you got two things that are spinning that are connected to this clutch, but the clutch is not engaged. If they're spinning at the same momentum, not necessarily the same rate, and then you release the clutch and it engages, both things that were spinning in opposite directions will simultaneously stop spinning.
I mean, Larry, if you just spin yourself in an office chair with 2 dumbbells up against your chest, and then while you're spinning, you put your arms out, you will almost completely stop spinning
Maybe we're
because you've
talking about a
changed
different video.
because of the conservation of angular
a lot of
momentum.
weight. That's a lot of weight. The rocket's just fucking. It's not gonna have fast spinning, but not
I think we're
level to
talking
the
about.
top.
I think we're talking about
The
different
Go
things.
Fast
I don't
rocket
think
wasn't very big. It was only 2 stages, and it was like model rocket scale.
I don't even think the Go
Meters and
Fast
stuff.
was 2 stages. I think it was single stage, actually.
Yeah,
No, I think it
and
was
the
2.
and well, it popped apart after it stopped going up apparently, but I don't know the size of the thing. I didn't look at. I mean, the camera on the way down is a lot to it. Is all I'm saying. And like rockets, a lot of new stuff, just like cars. But man, they made some good ones in the past too. So
I mean, they're still using like old. Oh, there it is. I might be like on meth. No, it's 1 stage. If you don't see a like separation event where one part where
yeah, it could be tanked. I don't
one
know, but
thing with an engine where one thing with an engine falls away and makes way for another engine to light. Um
yeah, but I'm just thinking of model rockets. You had stack engines, right? Or um, who made the explanation video first on that rocket? The D simulator, yeah.
like this is an example of a 2 stage. I'm gonna back it up a bit. You have the first stage does its burn for about 2 minutes, and it goes. Then you have the second stage light. So that's what stage in rocketry means. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you already knew that. But if you didn't, sorry, I'm moving stuff around my room.
Yeah, I mean, the Go Fast is a very rudimentary rocket. It only has a single stage solid rocket motor, and it only lights for about 15 seconds until the rocket is at about, I think, like 50,000 feet or so, and then the rest of its altitude is just from coast.
I mean, such a thing is used in like actual rocketry. It's called a kick stage. So it gives it, you know, as the name suggests, a kick. And you're feeling the force of gravity, but it's 9 times what you're used to.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
You're
That is
feeling an
not the-
acceleration. It'd be more accurate to say you're feeling an acceleration equivalent
That-
to, say, 9 times
Dude,
the force of the acceleration
that's what
on
G-force
the
is.
surface of the Earth.
There you go.
No.
That's correct, Jake.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Grumman, you have many misconceptions of physics. Like I agree, the Earth is spherical, and I agree gravity exists, but I disagree with almost half of what you say. You gotta get your shit right. You're getting it wrong very often.
I mean, one of my main things that I know about is rocketry, which is probably obvious considering I'm watching a rocket live stream from 5 years ago.
I haven't looked at the twice the size thing, but and yo-yo, I mean, D-spin. You're saying like a lot of force there, a
Yeah,
lot of
what is yo-yo D-spin again? Is it like a rocket motor or is it like a I don't know. My main things that I know about is rocketry, which is probably obvious considering I'm watching a rocket live stream from 5 years ago. Yo-yo D-spin again? Is it like a rocket motor or is it like a I don't know. I mean, they're still using like old oh, there it is. I might be like on meth. No, it's one stage. If you don't see a like separation event where one part I might be like on meth. No, it's one stage. If you don't see a like separation event where one part where
Yeah, it could be tanks, I don't
one
know.
thing with an engine where one thing with an engine falls away and makes way for another engine to light. One of my main things that I know about is rocketry, which is probably obvious considering I'm watching a rocket live stream from 5 years ago.
What do you think of the Go Fast video that's got subtitles about stopping, but looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, do you remember?
It wasn't very big. It was only 2 stages, and it was like model rocket scale.
Spinning, but not
I
level.
think we're talking about. I think we're talking about different
Go
things.
Fast
I don't
rocket
think-
wasn't very big. It was only 2 stages, and it was like model rocket scale. Oh, what is yo-yo D-spin again? Is it like a rocket motor or is it like a I don't know. This is an example of a 2-stage. I'm gonna back it up a bit. You have the first stage does its burn for about 2 minutes. And it goes. Then you have the second stage light. So that's what stage in rocketry means. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you already knew that. Take Atlas V, for example, with its ridiculous payload fairing for the Atlas variant that starts with a 5. That is a 5-meter diameter fairing.
Seems like it's a lot of weight to be at the top.
Well, that's why most of the 5-meter fairing diameter variant things have been armed with solid rocket boosters.
Yeah, they're not doing it for shits and gigs. They have a payload that needs that diameter to clear.
Yeah, to not disintegrate. Yeah, I mean, it's an NROL mission, so if they goof this up, you're talking US military is not happy with you.